Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. And today we're going to be talking about what is it like and how does it feel? Any question that anybody may have, if you can answer those two questions, you pretty well have answered for them what they want to know about. Well, today we're going to say that the way it feels is very painful. Because what are we talking about? We're talking about a tractor accident. I was on the road. I got hit by a tractor and I was injured quite badly. Well, let's talk about this story. First of all, my wife and I were 24 years old. We had two little girls. One of our girls was 5 and the other one was 3. And I took my father to the hospital to get a neck treatment. He was having problems with his neck and back. He had several hundred bone spurs on the bones in that area of his body, and he was having an awful lot of pain. In fact, the bones had gotten to the point where the bones were to come together. Instead of coming together, they had actually crossed each other. So instead of coming to a point like this, they actually were starting to make an X. So he was in excruciating pain, and I was taking him to the hospital every so often so that he could get a heat treatment. And those did help to a certain degree, but it did eventually get to the point where he had to have surgery. And the doctor was taking the bone spurs off of his bones and actually lost count. That was how bad it was. Well, I had taken him to the hospital. He had his treatment. We were on the way home. Now, you know how roads are kind of square. You have road going north and south. You have roads going east and west. You have roads going north and south again. Well, we were on one of the north and south roads, and we could either go to the south, turn east, or we could go to the north and turn east. Well, we happened to notice what looked like a snowstorm or smoke of a fire up north. Well, we decided it was smoke from a fire, and we wanted to go and see it. So we went up there, and sure enough, when we got up to the corner where we would be ready to turn east, we noticed that on one side it was snow, and on the other side sunshine. Well, it caused a shadow, and that's what we saw, and we actually had decided that it was smoke. Well, we went ahead and went east down to the next road, and that road was called Town Hall Road. Now, of just about everybody that lived on that road, with the exception of possibly one or two homes, had the same last name that I did. So when I was on that road, I kind of felt like I was at home. Well, we went down just a little ways, about a mile from where a tractor came out on the left side of the road, started heading toward us. Well, I could see it, like I said, for about a mile. The person who was driving it was inexperienced and didn't see us at all, ever, at any point. And so when we got to the point where he was going to make his left and turn in front of us, well, he did. He made his left. He turned in front of us and up and over us. And I watched as I saw this big wide axle just coming through and just flattening our car. It was almost like putting butter on some bread. It was that flat. Anyway, when the tractor hit our car. It was a huge tractor, maybe 20, maybe 30 tons. The weights on the front of that were huge. I mean, just literally huge, and weighed 3,000 to 4,000 pounds all by themselves without any of the rest of the weight of the tractor. And anyway, that thing hit us, and it hit us with major force. My head went forward, and when I went forward, my legs crashed into the dash, and my hands and arms started bending the steering wheel. There were heavy metal spokes in the middle of that steering wheel, and one of them went right on into my head. And it just began tearing the meat. And anyway, after the impact, my body started going back, and when that happened, it really ripped it up. I was now in the process of bleeding to death. Well, they got me to the hospital pretty quickly. And while I was in the hospital, it was very interesting because the nurse there who was taking care of me just happened to be the sister of the man who was the sheriff's deputy who was at the scene of the accident. Now, he never saw me at the scene of the accident. He never saw me until I was already at the hospital. Well, my shirt was full of blood. I couldn't be gotten out on the left side of the car. I had to go across and over the console and so on and get out on the passenger side. My father kept saying, I've broken my neck, I've broken my neck. And it was because of him saying that I could tell where the door was. I didn't have an awful lot of time because I was concerned that the car was going to explode. But with as little room as I had to get out of the vehicle, I managed to crawl my way out. And of course, the movements that I was making was only making the bleeding worse. Well, they got me to the hospital, and they went ahead and froze the area so it couldn't bleed anymore. And then they began to put stitches in it. Well, my father, because of his injuries, had to stay at the hospital. But for whatever reason, they decided to release me. And so I went ahead and I went home. I was in a lot of pain. My head was badly swollen. There were all kinds of stitches in there. But I started to kind of get delirious as the afternoon wore on. Eventually, they had to take me back to the hospital, and I had to have further medical treatment. And I wound up in the hospital for several days after that. And so did my father because of his neck and head injuries. It was a difficult situation for the family. My 3-year-old daughter, when she looked at me and saw the blood down the front of my shirt and saw the injuries that I had to my head, the first thing she said is, "My daddy is dead." And that was kind of an interesting response. But that's the kind of thing that a child will say when they're concerned about a parent or grandparent. Especially at that age, things are different for a child that age than they might typically be for an older child. Our 5-year-old took it a little bit more in stride, but the youngest one was really affected by it. So it really was a terrible situation, a situation that I certainly don't want to ever have to go through again. And it was a painful situation, to say the very least. And I must say that I'm thankful that I'm here. As I've told you before, I've had 38 accidents, and many of them have been very serious. And I'll talk about some of the other ones in future videos and give you an idea of some of those things. But my channel is called Good Day, Good Prayers. It probably ought to be called What Is It Like and How Does It Feel? But I have to say that when you're having a lot of the situations that I've had to go through, having a good day and definitely needing some good prayers is a good thing. So I want to thank you for listening to this. It's a little longer than what I usually do. And remember to like and to subscribe if you want to hear more videos that might be along these lines. And also be willing to share it with other people that you think might want to hear what I had to say. So I want you folks now to have a good day.